Let's go for it. All right. So on the show today, we've got the guy who quite literally wrote the book on SMS marketing for direct consumer brands, the founder and CEO of Conversmart, Arri Bagah. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, first of all, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. What a time to be alive. Excited to be here. I'm always excited to come on podcast and talk all things direct to consumer. So, yeah, let's do it. Thanks for
Awesome,
having me.
man. So I'm hoping you can help me like set the scene. So
Hmm.
competition for people's minds and eyes is crazy right now. Obviously, we're
Yeah.
all desperate to just spend all our money online. It's kind of the only way. And you have a newsletter called Modern Attention. So I'm kind of curious if you can start by talking us through like what that name means, like what is modern attention, and then
Hmm.
how you're assessing the market right now in terms of how we are consuming content, how things are changing, and what it's all about.
Yeah. So, modern attention to me, it's about where the consumer is at and where brands should be investing their money to reach those customers. Because I think a lot of business owners think that I'm just going to do whatever I want, maybe create the product, get everything ready, and the consumer is going to come and get the product. But what we have to realize is that, like, historically, businesses always have to go where the consumer is at, right? So usually, even like when people were opening retail stores with the retail store boom in the 1950s, like you find out where people are going, like, what highways people are driving to work, where are people concentrated, and then you put your retail store right there because that's where people are. So I think modern attention to me, it's about knowing where your consumer is at, and leveraging your paid media dollars or your organic marketing strategies the right way to reach them exactly where they are.
Yeah, cool, man. So we've got to get into like your stuff, SMS, text. It'd be cool to hear like what it is that's so good about text, specifically for the direct consumer brands that are kind of popping up and being really successful right now.
Yeah, so text marketing is really exciting to me. It's one of the things that I can really talk about with brands because I have so much experience doing it, and I've worked with many, many brands to help them launch and scale their text marketing. And the idea behind text marketing is that that's where the consumer is spending most of their time. So we just talked about modern attention, right? Where are people spending most of their time on their phone? They're
Mm-hmm.
in messaging apps, you know, iMessage, Android if you use Android, um, Instagram, DMs, whatever, right? People are using messaging apps. That's where people are. So how can we leverage that channel to reach those customers directly? So we decided to use a channel like text, because what's the first thing people do when they get a text, right? Like, people, your phone vibrates, that you just pick it up and you look at the text message. There's no avoiding that. So if people can't miss looking at a single text message, like, the attention on that channel is like really, really huge. So we thought we could capitalize on that by leveraging it for e-commerce brand. If you have a product promotion content that you want to send to your audience, why not just text it to your consumers, right? Because your consumers are in the messages already. They're receiving text messages from presidential campaigns, two-factor authentication, all the stuff already. So why not just reach them there? So that's why we decided to go all in on text. Honestly, text is really just getting started. There's a very long way for us to go in terms of what this experience could really provide and the amount of value it could drive for brands. But right now, what we're doing is leveraging it for our customers to reach their clients directly, build meaningful relationships,
Yeah.
and generate millions of dollars in revenue. Because at the end of the day, revenue is what we're here to generate. So, yeah.
Absolutely, man. How do you see like obviously the open rate or attention of a text is almost that human psychology of like, I need to see that and I'm immediately drawn to it.
Yes.
How do you see that like in comparison to the more, not even traditional, but like, social media or email, the kind of thing that people are kind of already conscious of? That's marketing. I'm aware that that's the thing that's trying to sell to me. I don't want to be involved.
Mhm.
Versus,
Yeah, that's a great question. That's probably one of my favorite questions because it always comes up like when we talk about text marketing, people are thinking like, "Hey Ari, do I have to shut down my email marketing? Do I have to completely stop doing email marketing?" But that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that email marketing still works, right? Brands are generating billions of dollars every single year via email, but the performance on email has dropped. You have brands getting less than 10% open rates, less than 1% click through rates. But with a channel like text, you can't measure open rates, but as an industry, we came together and basically said that, okay, most people open like 99 out of 100 text messages. So you kind of assume open rates are somewhere in the range of 99 to 99.9%. So that said, the opens are there. Now, the click through rates are also super high because you're getting more people seeing your text messages, right? Your campaigns. So you're also getting more clicks. You're looking at 10, 20, sometimes 30+% click through rates, depending on how good your content is. So why not use a channel like SMS to supplement your email channel, right? Why not run them side by side? We actually ran this test for this brand where we had a campaign, same campaign. We send it only to a small group of people over text. We generated about $6,500. We send it to the same amount of people on email. We generated about $3,000. And then we send it to a group of people. We send it to the same number of people over text and email, and we generated about $15,000. So adding more channels always increases more revenue. It doesn't take away from other channels because people sometimes think that, okay, if I set up text, it's just going to steal revenue from email. But the data
yeah,
shows that doing both always increases your revenue because of the increase in reach and click-through rates.
yeah, it's the job of the like modern brand is not just to try and get the consumer in one place. It's like this consumer is everywhere, and how can we consistently sort of feel like we're a part of their, their day-to-day digital life? It's mobile, email, see the email, come back to the text later. Are
Yeah,
you?
and
Are
can I,
you?
can I
Yeah.
add real quick? I mean, I'm not sure if this is in your questions, but the current feud with Facebook and Apple that's going on, and it only strengthens the fact that email and text are here to stay because those are own channel, right? You really don't have to pay that much to email people or text people. But brands that are relying always on paid media that are not focusing on building their own audiences are going to pay a lot more to acquire customers because with Facebook ads not being able to, get pixel data and retarget properly,
Yeah.
how else are you going to properly retarget people? It's only via email and text. So with all this going on, like every 3 years or so, there's a big algorithm change that comes in, and then a lot of people get wiped out. So don't let that be you. Right now, what you should be focused on is building your email and your text list because it's the only those are the only probably the only two channels where you can always have confidence that no one is going to come in, and tell me, hey, like you cannot email or you cannot text your list because it's a list that you actually own. So just wanted
Yeah.
to add that in
No,
there.
no, it's a really important point. And what comes out of brands is like we're trying to build a community around our brand of people that love the products, shop with us time and time again. And it's
Yes.
where the kind of reputation of that brand can either make it or break it. Yeah, and there's no there's kind of a linear scale of how much we spend on ads. It's how many people can come to our website, but having like a list like this and being able to nurture it in the right way and actually engage with them kind of, I guess, on a more human connection level is,
Yes.
that's really interesting. With the sort of SMS, are you more in the business of like building a brand or building that brand up, or are you focused on, here's a product, here's an offer, here's the link, buy now. How do you like balance those two things?
Yeah, I think one important thing that you just mentioned is human connection, because there's a lot of brands that are getting into text marketing, and there's, little to no human connection there. So it's just like the same promotion every other day,
Yeah.
or three times a day, like get the same coupon code, and then no one really cares. And so there's a lot of brands doing that now. And what we're trying to preach here is that text like is a one-to-one channel. Like think about when you text friends, family, coworkers, it's very casual, emojis, gifs, images. It's just a very fun experience, right? um, so we kind of want to model that when we use it in the business case, right? You can't just come in and just be really serious, like send long paragraphs and the same coupon code, be just like super salesy. Sometimes if you have sales, you can be a little more salesy, but what we want to do is build that one-to-one relationship with that customer. So, and I know a lot of brands who come into text marketing are always like thinking, oh, text is just for promotions, like there's nothing else I could do. No, you don't have. For a lot of the clients that we work with, we rarely do promotions. We're sending like content that people actually would like unique content via the channel, content that makes that audience over text feel very, very exclusive, because people are sharing probably one of their most private pieces of information, besides their social security number, of course. But it's one of their most private pieces of information that people are giving to you, and allowing you to be able to get into their inbox, their personal inbox. So you have to treat it as such. So you have to make sure that you're sending content that's very unique, that people like. And every once in a while, Valentine's Day just came by. If you have a sale, you can send it out, and you see that your audience over text is gonna respond very well to it if you're sending the right content. So at the end of the day, it's about the content, right?
Yeah.
If the content is great, you're going to have great engagement. If your content is trash, your engagement is going to be trash. There's a lot of people out there that are going to get that one good engagement from trash content, and it just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, we're like, especially this, last year, that human touch, actually feeling like you're a part of something exclusive, or you're kind of getting something more than what's on offer to everyone, is really exciting, and it's something you want to feel that you're part of a brand. But I guess there's the problem where you could, and this might be, is this like the main pushback against SMS is like, oh, I don't want to be reaching out to my customers all the time. I'm going to be too pushy. I don't want to overload them with offers or content if they're not ready for it, if they don't want to feel like they're part of it.
Yeah, and I think like a lot of marketers usually like are just kind of like skeptical of the channel, because like, let's be honest, we all had that bad experience, like where you never subscribe to a brand, you come home, sitting on a couch, and then you get that random text, and you're like, I never like subscribed to this brand, like I don't know how they got my phone number, like I might be hacked right now, like we've all been through there. So it's very understandable that some marketers could be skeptical of the channel, because people have misused it. And text marketing has been around for the past decade and a half, and there's been a lot of regulations put in place to stop spamming, from like telecom companies, the FTC, FCC. They put together the TCPA, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, to protect consumers. Actually, consumers can sue brands who are spamming them. So there's been a lot. Yeah, you can sue a brand for up to $500 per text, if they're spamming you, if you do it the right way. So so there's been a lot of regulation put in place to stop spamming. But the text marketing that we're talking about today is very different. It's very one-to-one. It's very personal. If you have great content, if you personalize the content, you can have that connection with that customer and get them to come back every time you need them to make that purchase. They're going to come back. So it's very understandable that marketers could be skeptical, but at the end of the day, we're not our customers. We have many brands doing well over millions of dollars per month through text alone. So the data is there, it's working, people like it if you do it the right way. So if you're a marketer right now sitting on the fence about text marketing or feel that it's very invasive or like no one should ever text their customers, I invite you to try it because the data truly shows otherwise. Otherwise, you're just going to be left behind. Like the attention is already there. It's working for many brands. And at the end of the day, what you need to realize that is that you're not your customer. You cannot make those decisions based on like personal things that have happened in the past. All you have to do is look at the data and be able to at least test it out, see how people respond to it, and then make a decision from there.
Yeah. I want to pull you into our world of fulfillment and like the experience when you actually like shop with one of these brands you work with. Where would you see the the role of messaging, or the opportunity for actually being in touch with a customer, but to not just before shopping with the brand, but actually then once you've confirmed the order and through to that delivery? Like, is there a role for what you do there as well?
Yeah. And this is something that we've surprisingly found over the past year. So we had this order confirmation text that we're testing out. And basically what we found is that when someone is in buying mode, they're more likely to buy again. So if someone buys a product the first time and you text them after they made a purchase with an offer to buy something else, maybe with like a 10% off or whatever you're comfortable with giving, like, hey, thank you for making that purchase. You've joined like thousands of customers who have found, this product has done great things, whatever you want to say. Here's 10% off as a thank you for other products that you may like. You found out that people are going to come back and use that discount code. So we had an order confirmation message that was generating a lot of revenue that we thought, oh, like people actually want to receive messages. And also this is like a customer service kind of play into this, because for a lot of brands, people always come, on their website or through email and saying, hey, like, did my order get processed? Maybe you sent out a confirmation email that went to spam or they didn't receive, whatever happens, right? And what we found is that for these customers, when they're shopping, most of the time they're on their phone anyway. Like 60+% of purchases are on the mobile device. So if those customers are already on their device while they're shopping, right? Why not send them a confirmation? Maybe you might get them to buy another product with that offer, but at the same time, you're reducing those customer support requests that come in about, hey, did my order process, etc. And on top of that, you can send customer text messages maybe after 2 weeks to get reviews. Maybe 4 weeks later, hey, how are you liking the product? There are more products in the collection that you can try out. There's a lot of different things that you can do post-purchase to get that customer to come back. And if you're a subscription brand, you can get that customer to skip a month to reduce churn. They can cancel their subscription. They can upgrade. They can do a lot of things by just texting you instead of reaching out to you and taking time away from your customer support team.
Yeah, that's I think that's the bit that people would on the surface probably miss, is that full customer lifecycle LTV thing that plays a huge part. Awesome. Look, Arri, man, thanks for sharing. I really like your approach, and I think it's a really novel sort of concept, something that people are going to be thinking about more and more now. Last question I want to ask about Conversmart itself, obviously your business. On your site, you guys say you only roll with the best when it comes to partners and who you work with. So I was curious, how do you guys position yourselves in the market, and what does that mean for you in terms of being a provider to the direct to consumer industry?
Sure. I think for us, at least for our team, I feel that we are a team of experts. We are very passionate about e-commerce. I honestly don't let anyone work at Conversmart if they're not really passionate about e-commerce. It's like at the end of the day, it's something you do every day, right? If you don't really like it, then you're just gonna hate working on it, which means that the clients are gonna perform poorly, and it's just not good. So a lot of people that we have on our team are very passionate. They're all experts. And to give you an example, our email marketing manager has over 15 years of experience. And he can go in anyone's Klaviyo account and give him like the best audit, hands down, anyone has ever seen on this planet. So like we are a team of experts. We're really passionate about e-commerce because I come from an e-commerce background. I'm a brand operator, and at the end of the day, what really matters is revenue, right? You have a lot of agencies who can come out, do a lot of cute stuff, good looking pictures, um, some decent copy, but is it really generating revenue, right? So what we really do is like revenue. It's what we really focus on, and our team really does everything with revenue in the front of their mind. So if you're really interested in revenue, I think that's what really sets us apart because that's what we focus on because that's what really matters for e-commerce brands and with the types of brands that we want to work with. And in order to do that, we need the best partners, right? We need the best product. We need the best of the best, for lack of a better word. So that's why, like on our website, we have some really great partners that we work with in terms of like platforms, and that's just like to deliver the best work for our clients because at the end, if you don't have the best tools, you can't really do the best job possible. So that's why we want to partner with some really great vendors out there so that we can deliver the best service.
That's it, man. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks for having me.